Hi, it's Rae. We're going to go to the garden and we're going to collect a zucchini. Then we're going to come back to the kitchen and we're going to make a zucchini bread machine recipe. So let's go to the garden and get the zucchini. All right, here we are in the garden by my zucchini plants, and we're going to collect a zucchini for our recipe. Okay, this zucchini the other day looked like a baby, and look at it now, it's huge. Doesn't that happen with zucchinis? I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut this open and we're going to feed it to Chrissy. So I'll use this zucchini for the recipe instead. Let's go up to the kitchen and get started. Okay, we're back from the garden. We have the zucchini, and now I'm going to grate the zucchini for the recipe. So I'll do that off camera, and then we'll meet back with all the ingredients. Okay, so we have all the ingredients ready, and we're going to put them in our bread machine pan. So the bread machine I have is called a KBS, and the reason I got it is because it's ceramic coated instead of the Teflon coated. So to me, it's a little healthier and safer. So that's why I bought this particular machine, but you can use whatever machine you have. And so the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of applesauce. So this applesauce that I'm using is applesauce that I had froze last fall from our apple trees. So we got the applesauce in there. Then it's 1 cup of finely grated zucchini. So here's our 1 cup of finely grated zucchini going in the pan. And then it calls for 2 large eggs. So of course we have farm fresh eggs. Use whatever you have. And then we have a 1/2 cup of honey. So this honey that I get is from a local beekeeper, and her husband are so wonderful, and their honey is fabulous. So if you can choose a local honey, that's always the best choice. So this is honey that is from hives that are probably 2 miles from my house. So it's very fresh and local. So we got all the honey in there. And then it calls for 1 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. So I got that ready to go. And she does state to put it in this order. Although if you have a bread machine that requires you to load the ingredients differently, maybe follow that. And then it calls for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So I have all of that here, and I'm going to dump that on top. And before I did put this in, she did say to spray the pan with oil, so I used an avocado oil and just did like a really quick little spray. And then you want to put the pan in your machine. Every machine is a little different, so make sure it's in there tight. And then she said, well, the recipe calls for chopped walnuts, but they're optional. I'm not doing the walnuts, so if you're doing the chopped walnuts, she said do not add the walnuts at this stage. So if you want to do the walnuts, make sure you read the recipe thoroughly and follow what she says. So we're going to put that in there and then secure the bread pan. We did do that. The machine is plugged in, and she said use the quick bread / cake cycle using a 1 pound loaf option and desired crust color. So I am going to put in for my quick bread. Oops. Okay, we got that going, and then we'll check back when the bread is ready. Okay, so the recipe says that after 5 minutes, check to see if the bread pan needs to be scraped down. So when I open this up, I can see flour there. So I'm gonna pause the machine, and then I'm gonna scrape it down and start it back up. Okay, so about 10 minutes ago, the machine beeped and the cycle was complete, and it said to leave the bread in the pan for 10 minutes. And I was busy, so I just left the whole thing in here. So I'm going to pull the pan out. So it's 10 minutes after it beeped. It's quite heavy. And then it says to remove it onto a wire rack. And it's going to go on the wire rack. And we are going to let this cool. It says let it cool for an hour. So I'm going to just leave it upside down like that and let it cool for an hour. Okay, so it's been an hour cooling and I transferred it to a cutting board, but it actually still feels warm, but I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to have to cut into it. So it looks dense. Smells good. It looks very moist. All right, so I'm going to cut it into a nice slice. It smells good. Like I said, it looks kind of dense. You can see the nice green flakes in there from the zucchini. And we're going to give it a little sample. Tastes very moist. Definitely taste the cinnamon in there. I love cinnamon. It's one of my favorite spices. Thanks for watching. Please give my video a like and let me know what you like to do with the zucchinis, and maybe that's a recipe I would like to try as well. And then we're going to go down and give Chrissy her zucchini now. So let's go. Ew, look what Mama has. A zucchini for Chrissy.